Out of all the paneling tools, I think the PT Panel Grid Custom and the PT Panel Grid Custom Variable, these two tools within the paneling tools, are the most interesting. So let me show you how it works. If you type PT Panel Grid Custom, then it says select a paneling points grid. So we select the points that we made, then the surface that we made. And then it says select custom curves and points. So I've drawn a circle inside of a square. So let me just select those two. And then I'm going to leave it as a U equals 0, B equals 0 as the base. And then shift is 1 in the U, shift is 1 in the V length. So these are the defaults. And if I hit OK, then it's going to generate select last created. Move that around out of the way so you can see it more clearly. It's going to generate this pattern of the circle inside the square grid touching each other exactly. No space in between. Now if I hit PT Panel Grid Custom, and then I hit the grid surface, and then it says select custom curves and points. If I change it, base and UV just means where does it start on the grid. So if you change it to 1, it won't start in the corner. It won't be all over the surface. It'll start somewhere in the middle. I still want it to start on the corner, but if I hit Shift to 2 and V to 2, then you notice it starts to skip. So it's showing you a sample of what it's going to propagate. And let's say OK. So then it looks like this. So select last created. Let's move that out of the way so you can look at it. That's what that looks like. If I hit PT Panel Grid Custom, and then it says select a panel points on grid again. Select, and then select. And this time, I'm going to go back to 1, 5, 1. But I'm going to change the length to 6. And then I'm going to change the width also to 6. So the pattern itself is 5 by 5, but I've changed the length of these grids to 6 by 6. So now it's going to create this offset there. That's another way to do it. So let's hit enter and see what we make, and hit select last created and move that out of the way so you can see it better. You can control the separation distance of your pattern. And of course, you can vary your pattern as well. Now we're going to play with PT Panel Grid Custom Variable and attractors. So I've drawn an attractor point and an attractive curve. Your curve can actually be a straight line. It doesn't have to be a curved spline like this. So you can draw more than one point as well. But for this example, I've got 1 point. And let me show you how it works. So command line, PT Panel Grid Custom Variable. And then you're going to need to select points on the grid, then the surface, and it says distribution method is point attractor. Pattern method is scale, and we're going to leave all the others as the default. Then it says select attractor point. You can see I've put my attractors on this layer, and it's the point, so I'm going to select the point. Again, I have 1 point. You can create more than 1 point. Enter. Then it says select unit pattern curve. I'm just going to select the circle this time. And then it says bounding box. If you don't have a bounding box, just hit enter. And then it says select an origin point. I'm going to select the center of the circle. Then it says minimum scale 0.125 and then maximum scale 0.9. By doing that, I'm going to hide this, so type hide, so you can see. So closest to this attractor point, it's the largest at 0.9 times of what I drew. And furthest away from the attractor point, it's 0.125, the smallest. Okay? So you can do the same thing using a curve. Now, this curve I drew on top, if you want the curve to be exactly on the surface of this surface that you've drawn, then you can type interpolate curve on surface, and it says select curve, and then you can draw an actual curve directly on the surface. So you see that curve is exactly on the surface. Or you can do what I have here and just put a curve far away. Up to you. Let me use that curve that I've just drawn. So PT, panel grid, custom variable. Select paneling points here. Select base surface here. But this time, instead of point attractor, I'm going to pick curve. So it says curve attractors. There are other options that you can play with as well, but I'm going to show you these two. And then I'm going to accept those options. Then it says, where's my attractor curve? I've only drawn one, so I select that one. And it says unit pattern. I'm going to select the circle again. It says define bounding box. I'll just hit enter. It'll just select exactly the circle. And then it says select origin point. I'll select that one. Again, smallest 0.125, largest 0.9. And then I'll go back. Let me hide this again so you can see very clearly what happened. So on the curve, it's the largest at 0.9 times. And then furthest away from that curve, it's 0.125. If I don't pick 0.9, if I pick 1, then it'll touch the boundary of this grid. So I like it at 0.9 better. Now, let me select both of these and move it out of the way. I type show to show the surface back up. What's interesting about this particular tool is, if you look down here, where my mouse is at the bottom of your screen, it says record history. If I hit toggle on, record history, then I type PT, panel, grid custom variable, and then I hit select the point panel and grid surface. I'm going to go back to point attractors. Okay, scale, everything the same. Then it says select attract point, select the point. Then it says select unit curve. So I'm going to select this again. Bounding box, just the circle itself. Origin point, the center. Yes, minimum factor, maximum factor. And then you'll see, let me hide the surface. Because I hit record history, it automatically turned off right now. But watch what happens. If I move that attractor point, now it will live update. It's almost like it's in Rhino. I mean, it's in Grasshopper. It has a parametric relationship that will follow you. So similarly, you can do it with a curve. So if I type PT, hold on, you have to turn on record history. So toggle on, then type PT panel, grid custom variable, select points on the grid, select base. I'm going to select point curve attractor now, and then enter, and then says, where's your attractor curve? There. And it says, where's my unit? Okay, unit curve pad here. Enter, then enter again. Okay, so you see record history at the bottom turned off, so you're done recording. Let me hide the surface, hide, to show you that. So if I change this curve now, I'm manipulating the control points. If I maybe drag, hold on, cancel. If I drag this curve, it'll live update. So if it live updates, it's halfway in between Grasshopper, and you can adjust it to match the pattern you're looking for, the gradient you're looking for. However, if you change any of these properties, it'll break the recording. So if you see, if I pull this, oh, it's working. If you delete the curve, however, it'll break the recording. See, delete, it broke the history. So let's undo that. So that's what you want to keep. It's halfway between direct modeling in Rhino and parametric modeling in Grasshopper, which I think is quite neat.